Myles Lewis-Skelly becomes the youngest debutant to score for England on what was a brilliant night for the young man. It's been a sensational debut season for him. His England journey starts with a brilliant goal, an excellent performance. Also, Harry Kane tonight, I thought he led the line well. He scored what? Listen, the first touch and the finish was absolutely majestic. And Thomas Tuchel gets his reign as England manager off to a winning start. And as an England fan, that is all we could ask for. A lot of question marks in the build-up to this game about Kyle Walker being in the team, Jordan Henderson. Has he gone with the right individuals? We've all, including myself, criticised elements. Why is Gibbs White not within the matchday squad today? As an example, a lot of people were talking why Jed Spence wasn't there. But I thought England tonight were comfortable, confident, and put on a really professional performance. Albania, and now let's be honest. Let's be honest. Let's be frank. Let's be direct about this. If this was a Premier League game, we would say that was fossil football. It was terrorist football. There'd be mock-ups of Albanian players and the manager looking like infamous, world-renowned terrorists, etc., etc. They parked that bus. They sat in very deep in, I'll call it it was a low block, but they had 11 men behind the ball. There was very little space for England to operate in. And it was very much a baptism under fire for Thomas Tuchel, almost a message that this is how 95% of the teams that you will play against as England manager will operate. It's hard. It's tough. There's often not a lot of room to work in. Well-organised teams. And what I will say, the Albanians, technically on the ball, very, very good at times as well tonight. And they made it very, very hard for England indeed. So tonight was about two things. We had to be patient at the right times, but we also had to keep moving the ball quickly. We had to press at the right times. We had to maintain our own, maintain work ethic, maintain our own standards, and ensure that we didn't kind of fall into a little bit of a slump and allow the game to be slowed down. And we did that far too much under Gareth Southgate, and it happened under Lee Carsley a lot as well. Overall, I was very, very happy with England tonight. I really, really was. I felt we pressed well when we had to, when Albania tried to have the ball, and we often tried to move the ball quickly. Now, it's very, very hard with 11 men behind the ball, but we tried to move the ball quickly. There was great interchange and play by Jude Bellingham, who I thought had a fantastic game tonight, really led that line well. Harry Kane looked motivated, energetic. And again, what I liked about the starting lineup, I wasn't a big fan of Foden on the right. I thought Bowen should have started. But what was happening is when Kane was dropping deep, the instructions from Thomas Tuchel was for Bellingham to run in, Rashford to make those diagonal runs, which we have missed so much in this England side. And that was creating havoc. What we were also seeing tonight, and we'll get onto him in more detail in a moment, was Lewis-Skelly pushing into the midfield and inverting at times, but for his goal, working the width as well. And I love that versatility in our play. Was Lewis-Skelly going to invert? Was he going to be out wide? Was he going to go into a kind of inverted or inside forward position? He did all of it. And I love that fluidity within the England team tonight. And I'm not going to get carried away, because we were only playing Albania, and I say that with the utmost respect to that nation. Beating Albania is not an indicator that you can win the World Cup, win the Euros, win the Nations League, but I really liked it. The opening goal, look, we've got to shout out Lewis-Skelly to begin with. Youngest ever debutant to score for this nation. And that was after a week of suffering abuse from scumbags and bigots and haters. And I understand people don't like Arsenal, and I understand that there'll be fans that didn't like that he mocked Erling Haaland. But the level of abuse that this man has received, I put a lot of it down to the mainstream media, Jamie Carragher, Sky Sports, for TalkSport, for over-egging his mocking of Erling Haaland. The lies that are continually told about this young man. I keep hearing he's had 2 red cards in the Prem. No, he hasn't. He was given one by mistake that was rescinded, that wasn't a red card challenge. That's been absolutely proven beyond reasonable doubt. And the second red card was for denying a clear goal scoring opportunity. wasn't violent. It wasn't nasty. Do you know what I really find interesting about all the people that attack Lewis-Skelly online? They're the kind of people, when you look at their profiles, a lot of them retweet. This is the irony. A lot of them retweet and support a lot of the weird messages from Joey Barton. This man used to hit people with golf clubs and put cigars out in people's eyes. But Lewis-Skelly mocking a celebration. That's too far. I can't back you. So, you know, it's an absolute disgrace what this young man has been through. And as I said earlier on this week, and I'm brave enough to say it now, of course, there is a horrible percentage as well that don't like Lewis-Skelly because he is a confident, good-looking, successful young black man. And that's just the reality of life in the Western world. And I think we all have to accept that. You couple that with these haters and people that just don't like anything to do with Arsenal, people that don't like anyone that has a bit of a personality. And this young man, for someone who hadn't kicked a ball for England yet this week, suffered so much abuse, being called all manner of pejoratives. Even some of his fellow Arsenal fans, you know, Arsenal fans not having his back, not being supportive of him, kind of siding with the scumbags online. But it's why I rate this kid. And, you know, tonight, I got a bit of stick because I could put out a heart emoji with a picture of him. Oh, this proves you're a gooner. No, Lewis-Skelly is an Englishman. He plays for my nation. Tonight, he's an England fan. He's an England player. I'm an England fan. He was on my side tonight, and I really rate this kid. Technically, I think he's an excellent player, but to handle the pressure that he's been under with the media scrutiny, the online scrutiny, and the abuse, and to go and put in a debut like that, fair play to that young man. He smashed it. And the goal was absolutely brilliant. The goal was brilliant. Jude Bellingham dropping a little deeper. He gets the ball on the half turn, creates a bit of space, and then just threads a fantastic ball through the entire Albanian team. And I said earlier, what I loved about Skelly tonight, and he does this in the Arsenal team, sometimes he'll invert into the midfield. Sometimes he'll hug that touchline and give you width. At this point, he was more in the sort of inside forward or winger's position where you would normally see Rashford on a night like tonight. He timed his run perfectly, and there was a great little sort of dummy to allow the ball to come across him. First time shot through the legs of the goalkeeper. I think it went through his legs. If I'm wrong, correct me. But I think it went through his legs in the back of the net. Youngest ever debutant goal scorer for this nation. Fantastic from him. So well done to Lewis-Skelly. On Bellingham, I mentioned earlier, I thought we had a brilliant game. And that assist was the tip of the iceberg. His pressing was brilliant. He was all over the pitch. His general play and touch was amazing. There was 3 or 4 fantastic passes tonight that cut through a very deep team. And he gets a lot of criticism online, Jude Bellingham, for not being technical enough or good enough. And I know that Real Madrid, I don't want to go into a Real Madrid conversation. They often don't play the kind of football that, in terms of what I watch, I don't watch as much La Liga as some of you, where they're dominating the ball and teams are sitting back against them. But I thought he was excellent tonight. I love that Jude Bellingham performance. I really, really did. I thought Harry Kane had a solid display. And his goal, by the way, Harry Kane's goal, the way he let the touch and control was out of this world. But there's an element of the goal that will go unnoticed by a lot of people. A lot of players would have just shot and it would have hit the covering defender. He waited for the covering defender to get between him and the goalkeeper and then bent it round him as a disguise. And it's the intelligence, it's the vision, the know-how and the experience. All of that together made that an absolutely fantastic goal. It really, really did. Aside from that, look, I thought it was a very good game tonight for England. Burn and Konsa at the back, I thought did very, very well indeed. The midfield already mentioned was good. But more importantly, it was encouraging to see an England team trying to attack. Now, we didn't score the volume of goals we wanted. We probably would have liked to have created more goal-scoring opportunities and chances, and that will come in time. But this is a team that I feel for 2 to 3 years has been held back and has been kind of constricted and suffocated in many ways and told to play within themselves, being encouraged tonight to get on the front foot and play football. And I hope in the coming days, weeks, months that these guys get to spend together, we see a more progressive, more open England team. We've got lots of talent, lots of speed, lots of power, lots of goals in this side as well. If Thomas Tuchel keeps picking squads like this and more, Saka to return, Mainu to return. So it's very, very exciting times ahead. As ever, I want to get your views. I want to get your opinions in the comment section. But tonight tonight belongs to one player above and beyond everybody else, and that is Myles Lewis-Skelly. Well done to you, young man. Represented England with in an amazing way tonight. So congratulations to you and to all of your family. Hit the like and the share button, people. Until next time, take care, goodbye, God bless, and I'll see you all again soon. Peace.